girl Wakeji Kamore and welcome to Reflections by Wakeji Kamore. I'm super excited. If you're here for the very first time, we are doing a Bible summary where we go through every book of the Bible chapter by chapter. We are currently in the book of Judges. We are today in chapter 5. So kindly stay to the end of the video because that is where the lessons are. But today I'm actually not going to be reading like word for word. So the lesson will start from the beginning. But do subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so that you do not miss any upcoming video. If you're here and you've been here before, just keep coming because I know that God is working on you as you listen to these videos. So anyway, today we are going to be covering Judges chapter 5, and I'm not going to be reading word for word. And the reason I'm not going to be reading because this whole chapter, all the way from verse 1 to verse 31, is actually a song. And this song has been sung by Deborah and Barak. Please remember, Deborah and Barak are the ones who we encountered in the last chapter, which was yesterday. Please, if you don't remember what this was about, like seriously, so we wanted to watch your video and I come to watch it. So anyway, it is basically a song. All the 31 chapters are a song, and in the song they actually recount the victory over this guy Sisera and how he died in the hands of a woman called Jael. So this chapter or the song starts by this verse. It says that the leaders took the lead in Israel, and that the people offered themselves willingly. Bless the Lord. It's just saying the people offered themselves willingly to actually go to this war. So bless the Lord. Deborah and Barak continue to recount the tribes that got into the fight against Sisera. And when we get to verse 16 and 18 of this chapter, it shows the reality of which tribes showed up and which ones did not. Please remember that Barak had 10,000 warriors. So of these 10,000 warriors, they were actually not from all the tribes. And here from verse 16 to 18, actually from 13 to 18, it tells us which tribe got involved in this battle and what the other tribes did because they were not involved in this in this battle. Please remember, this battle was a big battle because Sisera had 900 chariots. Again, as I said yesterday, it's like Kenya fighting Russia. That is how, like, imbalanced, like Kenya fighting Russia. That's how imbalanced this war was. And I'm assuming that is why some tribes decided to not get involved and some decided to get involved. So anyway, let me just read all the way from verse 13 to 18, and I'm actually going to be reading this from the Message version. I would encourage you to read the chapter, the whole song for yourself so that you understand what it is that I'm talking about. You can actually just pause this video and just read the 31 chapters quickly. They're like a poem and then come back and let's talk about verse 13 to verse 18. I'm going to be reading from the Message version because I like the words that version has actually used. So this is what it says. Then the remnant went down to greet the brave ones. The remnant are the people who had remained in Israel. They were going down to meet the brave ones. The brave ones are like now these Sisera people. And the people of God joined the mighty ones. The captain from Ephraim came to the valley. Behind you was Benjamin with the troops. Please remember that this is a song and a poem. So the way it's written, it's like a poem. So it's Deborah saying that the remnant actually went to greet the brave ones, and the people of God joined the Ephraimites. The tribe of Ephraim is recounted to have come to the army, and also the tribe of Benjamin came with its troops. So already we have seen two tribes that actually showed up and were part of this war. The captains, which are the captains from Benjamin, they marched down from Makir. Makir is a place, and from Zebulun. High-ranking leaders came down. I like the fact that every tribe kind of almost produced something. The captains came from the tribe of Ephraim, the troops came from the tribe of Benjamin, the high-ranking leaders came from the tribe of Zebulun, and Issachar's princes rallied to Deborah. So that means the tribe of Issachar they gave out their princes for this war. And Issachar stood fast with Barak, backing him on the field of battle. So far we've seen Ephraim, we've seen Benjamin, we've seen Zebulun, and we've seen Issachar. Those are 4 tribes that we have seen that actually showed up for this battle. Then it continues to say, but in Reuben's division, there was much second guessing. So the tribe of Reuben had a lot of second guessing. Why all those campfire discussions? They were diverted and they were distracted. And Reuben's divisions couldn't make up their minds. The tribe of Reuben did not show up for the war. Why? Because they were diverted, they were distracted, they were having second guessing themselves, and they just basically could not make up their minds. And they spent their time in campfire discussions, talking about, are we going to be part of this war or not? Is it a good idea? So they just never made up their mind, and they were just never part of it. And then he says that the people of Gilead. Gilead is a place. Remember, Gilead is a place on the other side of Jordan, where the tribe of Reuben, the tribe of Gad, and half tribe of Manasseh settled. This was the ones that decided to settle before they could cross over to the promised land. And he says that's Gilead, or that space that had Reuben, it had Gad, and it had half tribe of Manasseh. They played it safe. It says Gilead played it safe across the Jordan. Across the Jordan, they didn't come to join the rest of the Israel for the journey, for the war. And the tribe of Dan, why did he go off sailing? That is what Deborah and Barak are asking themselves in this song. The tribe of Dan, why did they go off sailing? It just means that the tribe of Dan, instead of even being part of the war, they were not sitting down and trying to make up their minds. They were not trying to play it safe. They were just like, Sisi hatuko hapa. They went sailing. They got into their, boats or dhows or whatever they used to use at that time, and they actually ran away. They went off sailing. That means they were actually not even in the vicinity of the war that was happening. The tribe of Asher kept his distance on the sea coast, safe and secure in his harbors. So the tribe of Asher was there, but they were just like, sisi tutaka tu hapa tujione tu what is happening. Let's just sit over here. Let us just keep a distance and let us be secure here in our harbors and not get involved in this war that is happening. But it continues to say that the tribe of Zebulun risked their life and their limbs. They defied death, and so did Naphtali on the battle heights. So Zebulun and Naphtali risked their lives and they defied death. And actually, that is actually when the Bible talks about the 10,000 warriors, it actually says the people of Zebulun and Naphtali. So it was actually mostly these guys. These are the guys that actually fought, because these other tribes gave what? Their leaders, they gave their troops, they gave their princes. So I'm not sure whether they were fighting, but they were part of it. They were part of them, part of the war. It is so interesting, so interesting that when I was reading this chapter for the very first time, I was like, Sosa, what can we learn from this song? It's just a song. I was just reading it, I was just like, Miss Yoni Nintuneza learn kwa song. But in this life in general, not forget even the service of God or even working in church, just this life in general, sometimes there can be a task that needs to be done, and people need to come together to do that task. And there will always be different categories of people. There will be the indecisive people. These are like the Reubenites. These people can't seem to make up their minds. They go back and forth in what the verse is calling campfire discussions. Campfire discussions can be happening within your head, where you're asking yourself, should I go or should I not? Or campfire discussions could actually be when there's a task to be done. Instead of making up your mind, you're busy asking everybody else whether you should get involved or not. You're hoping that someone is going to either encourage you to do it, or someone is going to give you reasons why you shouldn't do it. Those are the indecisive people. And these specific people were of completely no use in that battle. They were completely of no use. And those kind of people are usually completely of no use, even whatever task it is that needs to be done in general life. Then we have another category of people. They're called the safe players. So safe players are those who choose to play it safe. In this chapter, these were the tribes that were on the other side of Jordan. The tribe of Gad and half tribe of Manasseh. These ones were just like, we're going to play it safe. They were like, this is not our battle. We don't need to get involved. Our Koupa across the Jordan as we are here. And they forgot that even though that they were across the Jordan River, there was still one big tribe of Israel. And if Israel, the other tribes of Israel that were across the Jordan were not prospering, that even them, they wouldn't prosper. Now, this kind of people are highly unreliable. You think they're in your corner, but let me tell you, when trouble comes, when things are thick, they will slowly remove themselves from that situation. Then we have the third category. We've seen the people who cannot make up their minds, and we've seen these safe players. Then we have the runners. These are like the tribe of Dan. Hey, the Bible records that this, instead of joining into the fight, instead of being part of the fight, they actually sailed off. They were like, I don't have much to say about these people. Honestly, kulingana na mimi naona sina maoni. Yeah, maybe Jonah was from that tribe, because Jonah was also a runner. It's like, given something to do by God, I was like, opposite direction. So let's just leave these people there, the runners. Then we have the life riskers. These ones are like my favorite group. These people who risk their lives for you. These people, they will defy death to help you. They will defy death to be part of the team. They will be part of a team, and they will actually probably do like the whole job that the team needs to do. These people will risk their lives to obey God. These are the people God said this. They are just like, let's do it. They will not have time for campfire discussions. They will not have time to be thinking, should we run or not? They will just jump at what God has said and be quick to do it. If I am honest with myself, if I am truly honest with myself, I have been in each of these groups at one point of my life. There are seasons when I have allowed fears to make me very indecisive about something that was definitely God's instruction. There are days I've played safe and I'm just like, just because I'm not sure of the certainty, there are a lot of uncertainties in the future about this specific thing, let me just play safe. Even when it was God's clear instruction. There are days I've been a runner. God tells me, go do this, I'm just like, opposite direction. Last scene, let's get on a boat and go to a completely different place. And I've run away from God's instructions and gone completely the opposite direction in rebellion. But also, there are seasons when I have risked my life and jumped at what God had instructed me to do. Those seasons are very few. They are like counted, but they are there. There are seasons I have actually risked my life to do what God has asked me to do. Like this, like doing this, my somebody. This is me being a life risker. But before I give myself like all the props and whatever, I think there should be another category. There's another category. And I don't know whether there was this category, because Akina Deborah that don't speak about this category. This category are called the kickers, the screamers, and the complainers. Now this is the category I fit in. This is where I sit like this. I could easily be the president of this category. These are the people who will take on the task. You give them the task, they will take it on. You give them something to do, they will take it on. But let me tell you, they will do it kicking, screaming, and complaining. Let me tell you, self-awareness is a good thing, because only then can you grow. Honestly, it's good to be self-aware, because only then can you. Let me tell you, I'm part of a fellowship, and there are times I've been given a role in the fellowship. The leader will be like, oh, Wakeji, you're doing this. Let me tell you, I will accept that role, but that leader will regret giving me that role. Like, they'll just be like, I don't want to do it. Oh, can you give me someone else to do it? Why did you give me this role? I'll do it, but I will do it kicking, screaming, and complaining. And it's so unfortunate that there's actually like a whole category of people who are like this. But how about you? Do you want to do some reflection and some, introspect thinking and see whether you are being a team player, whenever it is that you're given something to do, whether in a team, whether in God's work, whether in God's instruction, which category do you fall in? Are you a team player? Or when it comes to following God's instruction, are you an indecisive person? Are you a safe player? Are you a runner? Are you a life risker? Or are you a kicker, screamer, and complainer? I totally believe that God gives us wisdom, especially when it comes to things that are not his instruction. Things are just like general life. God gives us wisdom to know when to exercise caution. He gives us wisdom to know when to play safe and even when to run. Because I think there are situations where you're just like, apa nicha to rocket, to enter, like, let's not even be seen in this vicinity. But this is the thing I will probably say the last thing before this video ends. But when it comes to instructions from God, when it comes to direct instructions from God, we are supposed to be life riskers. We are supposed to be quick to trust and obey God. Yes, he will give us wisdom to know when to play safe, when to be when to be cautious, when to run. But when it comes to direct instructions from God, he expects us and he rewards those that are actually life riskers. And they are quick to trust God and they are quick to obey God. This has been your girl, Wakeji Kamore, and this is Reflections by Wakeji Kamore.